Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Nobunaga's Ambition, Taishi. I'm Mysterious JG. I have to confess, I at the end of the last recording, I saved and then I played ahead a little bit without recording just to kind of experiment. I have no doubts that we're going to be able to take out this clan, but the plot event that comes next, we could be in some trouble. I'm not... feels like we're not going to have the option of just like delaying things against the Otomo clan until we're ready. Not if I want to follow the story. The Otomo clan is a lot bigger and more powerful than us right now. It's not even particularly close. So if we were to compare clans, we always start at the top. But once you start, like, I don't know, maybe with the Date it was somewhat similar, but I don't know that I've ever played through the game with a clan that starts in as weak a position as we are in right now. I have long-term fears about whether we're actually going to be able to conquer Japan here. But like if you rank the clans by total soldiers, which is militia plus infantry, the Otomo are 5th largest in the land after the Oda, the Mori, the Uesugi, and the Hojo. They're ahead of the Takeda. The Chosokabe, the Tokugawa. We're down here. So they have a lot more soldiers than we do. It's not quite double, but it's a lot more. None of us are powerful compared to, say, the Oda. Like, if they were to go up against the Oda or the Mori, they would be in huge trouble. Uesugi too. There's a pretty big drop-off between the Uesugi down to the Hojo, which is strange, because the Hojo I'm expecting to be a monster power before this is all over. But, yeah, like, we gotta play through the plot events until there's no more plot events to do. I like to show those off. But, my overall plan is try to take over Kyushu by fighting all the weak clans that we can, until we've got enough territory that we are powerful enough to take on... I'm blanking on their name. I just said it a minute ago. The Otomo. And then from there, decide, well, would it be easier to expand into Shikoku and then try to get both of the small islands before we move on to Honshu? Or would we want to try to move in against the Mori? And it really depends on how powerful the Mori are at that point. By the time we've taken... If we can take over all of... Kyushu, we may be strong enough to put up a fight against the Mori. But honestly, I don't know that much about the history of Shikoku, except that the Chosokabe eventually become the dominant force. But right now, even the Chosokabe are stronger than we are. By the time they take over Shikoku, if they haven't taken over Shikoku by the time we've taken over Kyushu, we should be stronger than Chosokabe, but I don't know. We got to take over Kyushu first, and this is looking like it's going to be hard. But yeah, like I said, playing ahead off screen, maybe not making the best possible decisions, but I was definitely just kind of charging ahead and being less thoughtful and experimenting. But yeah, I have no doubt we can accomplish the next quest. Things might get a bit dicey after that. But speaking of quests, we have... Oh, that's not what I meant to do. We have almost 2 years. A little more than 2 years to do this. And if we were to pull the trigger right now, we could actually accomplish it. But I'm starting to feel like we should be waiting a little longer than that. Try to build up a little bit more strength. At any rate, somebody has pointed out in the comments, and I was already figuring this out for myself, by the time... I'm always going to be a little ahead of what you guys are seeing. But yeah, the tutorials are not separate from the main game. The decisions I've made in the tutorials will stick. So I need to be a bit careful about that. At any rate, with militia, one get what one pays for. No gold, no reliability. I'm sure, however, will work as well as they're paid. One must consider carefully which to use. That's all he has to say, no matter what we select. Build facilities, strength and power. So everything's already being improved, I guess. Now we got lots of sites where we could put stuff. Each month the population rises 35 in neighboring cities. Leadership experience increases. Poll experience. Valor experience, yeah. So I'm thinking maybe post towns to increase population. I don't know what the range is for patrol posts. Ninjas. Gotta love ninjas. Each month receive 6 muskets per level. So I would think post towns near our cities would be a good idea. And I don't know if the effects are cumulative or not. OB. How much gold does this cost?
I do understand.
300, okay. You can't actually build them here, can you?
I do understand.
So yeah, I'll concentrate on my frontline cities here. This would cost 900. Why would it cost 900 here? Oh, this is still the total. Because I haven't approved any of them yet.
Understood.
I'm expending all the money here. This is getting a little crazy. I'm bringing in guys who are... These are only going to give max level 4, but I'm bringing in guys who... This is not their forte at all. As long as it's not going to take them 2 months to build, I can use them. This will be a twofer.
I understand.
So this is like spending half my gold to get population growth going in these cities. Maybe this is a mistake. Let's give it a shot. Not a lot of point in having spare gold sitting around. After all, I believe we'll still have net gold income on turns when I don't embark in new... Yeah, we still have positive gold income as long as I'm on turns where I'm not doing a bunch of development like this. Needed income is how much people... If provisions income falls below the needed income, the popularity will fall. Are these the places that are already doing something? Or where I can do something? Taking back the order? No, that's okay. So these were already doing stuff.
Understood.
I hope I didn't just waste, did I just waste my, labor there? Oh, I have 0 of 7. I'm probably going to find out I can't do any more labor. Yeah, never mind. So labor is there because I can undo. Expand all, invest all, monopolize all. So I have 0 actions left. Here I don't have limited actions. It's just about gold. Here, okay, so labor governs... looks like it only governs farming. Maybe if I got into infrastructure... I don't have gold for any infrastructure updates, so that's a thing. Dissolving a relationship with a clan will not only make them resent us, but it will make those around them doubt our trustworthiness. What I'm trying to do is to cancel this because I think it's just wasting money now. Although we're getting somewhere. Yeah, I guess I'll just leave it. Alright, well I've done more, spent more money that we don't have. So let's let some time pass here. Having a hard time getting it to actually take there. Fishing towns are being completed, including the Bloody Handed's fishing town. Somebody else is going to have to improve because he's not very good at that kind of thing. So Oda declares war on Honnoji. Continuing goodwill has improved Otomo's opinion of us. The Oda have gone to war with Honganji. Those are the Buddhist monk dudes. We've newly expanded into Hitoyoshi Tz. That stands for trade zone. This is another one of those things. People are telling me stuff in the comments, which I appreciate, but some of it's stuff I figured out by the time you make the comment. Like, I had figured out what TZ stood for trade zone before it showed up in the comments, but it was fun to call them TZs. Agriculture. We've recently developed a post town. We have recently developed a fishing town. Let us ensure its future growth, but not with me. My maximum level is 1 for this. They have recently developed a fishing town. Fishing towns and fishing towns. Okay. Continuing goodwill has improved Otomo's opinion of us. We now have 0 militia and 1,600 infantry in Kakuto Castle. 0 militia and 1,500 infantry in Izumi Castle. 0 militia and 1,200 infantry in Miyakono Castle. Yeah. So the recruiting is done unless I have enough gold that I want to rank that up. We spent a lot more gold than we made because of my manic insistence on always developing something in every single territory. But as you can see, once we get to the point where I've got something in every plot and don't feel the manic need to improve everything, the hopeful outcome of all this is that our income will be even higher. Those you can see, our commerce income is barely paying for those infantry, and we only have infantry in a couple of cities. So it might be that this whole brilliant plan I had to use infantry is just not something we can actually afford until later in the game. We're getting a little bit of food from fishing income. And we're starting to actually get horses. We have more horses than muskets, but that was our starting point. Horses are finally going to trickle in thanks to JG Mystery building a remote horse factory.
Let us begin.
begin the council.
Let us begin the council.
I'd like to hear everyone's thoughts.
Looks like the girls have been locked out of the clubhouse this month. Grimmeth Reaper is glowing with power, so I'm assuming that his policy suggestion is a good one. But yeah, we got Grimgrams, Bloody Handed, Lita's grandma, who is a guy, of course, and various historical dudes. I sense expanding markets and business ready to thrive. Let us help them along. So he's going to refugee increase speed up, investment cost down. I mean, he's glowing with power, so I have to assume we're supposed to pick this one. I agree. You are going to do provision consumption down, which would be good if I was marching. Your unit speed up, blockade power up. This is not a bad idea. If we're going to go to war right away, I would want this. I'm thinking of holding off a bit. Business thrive and retain profit. The Bloody Handed, in the meantime, just wants to improve combat policy points. Lita's grandma is giving us everything except commerce points. Hardly anybody suggesting anything that's going to improve commerce. Unit morale up. Of the combat-y ones, this is the best one. I don't know if we're going to march in time for this to have an effect. I'm thinking of putting it off a bit. And in terms of putting it off, I'd want to go with the ones that are just giving us the most points. But we're not getting a lot of commerce other than Grimmeth. So, I didn't mean it come out this way, but based on the fact that I'm not planning to march until after the next council, because we've got 2.5 years almost to do this thing. We're strong enough to do it now, but I'm worried about what follows. I want to be as strong as possible before we start. It's not the next quest that's got me worried. It's the quest after that triggers immediately. So I'm not in a huge rush to go to war, which is why I'm going to go with, as it turns out, by coincidence, the 3 created officers are the ones who are giving me the policies I want this time.
Let us end this council.
All right, you historical figures, go home and think about what you've done. Good job, created officers.
I have a plan.
Brother, might I interest you in this plan, born of my talents? Raise popularity, base in popularity. Heaven's timing, the land's advantages, the peace of the people. It is the people we must start with. That's a good point.
What if we did something like this?
Meanwhile, Elimdreda, the Avatar, has, she wants territorial law, popularity, and officer loyalty. I like that, because I'm always worried about losing officers, especially when we don't have tons of treasures to distribute to get them happy. Democratic rule? I don't like that. Territorial law, that's more like it. But we don't have enough food power for territorial law, so I need to think about that and possibly save it up. Is this taking food? No. Infantry focus, infantry recruit, speed up. Again, I'm trying to get to elite infantry. Although the more I think about it, they seem really expensive. I need to think about whether I can actually maintain that use of infantry after all. I mean, if I switch focus to militia, 30, 55, 30, 55. One of them is food plus 55 combat. The other one is commerce plus 55 combat. So it's not like one of them is clearly more expensive. I can't use Bobo logic to decide that the item / policy that costs more in the shop is probably the better one. I might regret this. I think eventually I'm going to need both, because it's apparent to me now you're never going to have an all-infantry army. You're always going to have some militia, unless you're just swimming in gold. So maybe... No, that would be taking away agriculture. The other problem is now I want to get this. Raise popularity. I wish there was a button to get more information on this, because I have my... Okay, you can just click it. Officer loyalty. So we need to be saving up agriculture points. So let's go ahead and do this, because it won't spend the thing that I'm currently saving up. Let's implement this policy. Now I could afford good idea chances up plus goodwill effect up. Let's assume that I'll be able to get these 15 rhetoric points back faster than I'll be able to get 12 agriculture points, and that getting this now won't seriously delay territorial law. So we'll get dynamic councils. Good idea chances up. Highly effective views are shared more often at councils. Daimyo council speech. Daimyo is able to speak at councils. I don't understand how much difference that makes, other than the fact that Yoshihisa himself, is he just become one of the 6 people who can talk, or do you get like a 7th person? Either way, if I get this, I will almost certainly be delaying getting territorial law, so let's hold off on that. Meanwhile, all I'm doing for economy is pasture aid. TZ and... I need to get going on this stuff. Fertilizer, irrigation. Yeah, I need to get going on those. There are still policies you can enact. You will not be able to enact policies until the next council. Yep. I don't think these guys are getting much stronger as time passes. They've got ninja villages. There's a post town. Yeah, all these other territories have something in most of their hexes. So I don't think it's crazy that I'm spending gold putting... Yeah, it seems to me like I've got less town stuff going on than other forces do, and I've been spending all the money I can. Can't do anything with agriculture this month. Commerce. Clan we have entered into a trade agreement with has a trade zone that deals in a special resource. Port. I don't know which one she's talking about then. Because I thought I was already expanding it here. Piston Hondo. I guess Higa. Region Kyushu. Region Higo. Region Higo. Region Kyushu. So Higo appears... Oh no, that says region... A location Higo. Location Hyuga. So Higo is the stuff that's outside of my territory. So if I go to the list down here, the places are all listed here are Higo, so... So I'm doing it now, right? Yeah, action 0, okay. So we can continue. We can build new. We don't have that much gold left. 6 sites where we could continue. I guess that's not fully built yet. Let's continue on the trade towns mostly. They're 400 a pop to increase.
Understand. As you will.
And we will be out of money when I'm done with this. Oh, those are the ports. Oh, I'll leave those for now at level 1. I really want to improve the gold producing stuff as fast as possible. I think these ones that I've put that into. And there's 3 sites where... Ah, yes, because somebody other than the Bloody Handed would have to improve his fishing town, since Bloody Handed did the best he could, damn it, but that's what it is. A level 1 fishing town. He is not going to do better than that. So let's look at our facilities, our port towns. We got a couple at level 0. But the one at level 1 is Aptitude 116. Earl King and Kalanawari Sanda have finished their port towns. Each month the population rises 35 per level in neighboring cities. Quality naval training. What? There's a post towns, not port towns, but... Each month receive 8 horses per level. Okay, it doesn't really give you a particularly good description of... I was kind of hoping we could tell here a difference between the level 1 and level 2 trading towns, but it just tells you 70 more per level. So we're getting 75% of gold plus 70. It's costing like 300. So it takes... it only takes those things like... It's less than a year before they've paid for themselves. So I don't... If it works the way I think it does, I don't see why you wouldn't improve all those trading facilities up. It's just a matter of... I've depleted our gold reserves now. Now, like, our gold is almost going to double next month because we're bringing in 876 and we've only left ourselves 1241. So our provisions, our horses, our muskets. Fishing income is 200. Ranch income is 8. I do need to get some more ranches going. It's very different from Rise to Power, or in that we're not spending anywhere near as much time looking at individual cities. We're looking at the plots around. Although eventually, when we get into infrastructure, we're going to need to start saving up gold for infrastructure improvements and getting our frontline castles. I don't think there's time. That's the thing. Is that what I'm worried about, and I guess part of me almost regrets that I now have a little bit of foreknowledge in a sense. I know that once we take this, we're going to face an immediate attack. Otherwise, I'd be in a desperate race to try to improve the defenses at Taka Castle. I don't know that there'll be time. But I do know that it's time to call it a video. I'm going to save over... Even when goofing around off screen, I was saving in some slots. So I will save over one of the slots where I was goofing around on Saturday night with some whiskey and coke and not really worrying too much about long-term effects, just trying to learn. And when we come back next time, slow, conservative gameplay. Not conservative in terms of spending gold like water, but conservative in terms of agonizing over every decision. I'll see you then.